How many of you trust your intuition? Are you in touch with it? Do you not believe it's there? For me, for the longest time, I always knew it was within me and I've always felt it, but I've made an active effort for the longest time to reject it. I rejected it primarily because I wanted to inhabit more of the rational, non emotional, and just go straight through what I see. What I see, what I hear, and trying to use my brain to piece things together. But as time has gone on and as I've ventured deeper and deeper into inner work and depth psychology, and also not just putting this on myself to improve and to integrate as much of me as possible, but also as I coach people and guide people, I've come to understand and appreciate its power. Now, I want to get into that a little bit. The first thing I'll say is you split into two pieces in the psyche, right? So you have the conscious awareness and you have the unconscious. Conscious awareness is what you see, what you interpret, what you experience, what you can visibly see with your eye and actually be able to look at it, map it out, and dissect it and get your hands all over it. The unconscious is the thing you can't see. All the traffic lights, the trees you walk by, the random people that you encounter that you just don't bother remembering, but yet oftentimes pop up in your dream. That the faces that you see that are unfamiliar to you are actually people you have seen. It's just stored away in the unconscious. It is where all the memories, the suppressed emotions, everything that is not conducive to the current ego state that you're living in, that's where everything else gets dumped. And the unconscious operates differently than your conscious. The unconscious, when it delivers information to you, it is delivering it through different modalities. Signs, symbols, feelings, sensations, and intuition, essentially. A sign could be some form of synchronicity, something lined up in your life that you notice and it is bringing such deep meaning to you that you feel compelled to investigate it. Maybe it felt very unrelated and you don't even know why it means something, but it does. Symbol can mean some sort of shape and design that is very archaic and archetypal that when you look at it evokes an emotion out of you, gives you a feeling. Senses, intuition, you're speaking to somebody and they're saying the right things. They're claiming values that you agree with, and yet, when you're sitting with them and you're beside them in their presence, everything in you is saying, this doesn't feel right. I feel extremely uncomfortable. And the reason for it is because the unconscious is computing and processing things that we cannot do consciously. It factors in all the details. So if I stick to the meeting an individual that comes off perfect, but then something in you is signaling the opposite, I've had plenty of times in my life where I meet somebody and, especially my world has been jiu-jitsu for the last 13 years. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I own my own academy, and you meet a lot of people and a lot of owners of academies, and you meet all different types. And the ones that always signal to my intuition something is off is an individual that says to me that they are all about community and they're all about openness and sharing and how it's not about the fight, it's about the friendships and all these wonderful things. And yet, when I'm in the presence of those individuals, my alarm goes off. Not always, but sometimes it goes off. And when it goes off, it's usually right. And the reason why is because there are particular actions, cues, body movements, the energy in the room. There's so many moving pieces that I can't, with my ego, be able to process it all. And so it just gets delivered to you in feeling. in some sort of survival alarm that squeezes your gut and demands you to look at it. And you could try to apply rational thought to it, but oftentimes it's very difficult. Now, the question is, how do you trust it? How do I actually trust it? Well, of course, give it time. So if somebody is, I'm feeling off about, I'm going to give it time. You never want to judge someone right off the bat based on a feeling you get, but it's definitely not something to cast aside. It's definitely something to have with you. Treat them the same, engage with them the same, but over time, the actions reveal. The actions always reveal whether your intuition was right or wrong. But the most important thing was shadow work. What parts of me have I not integrated? If there are parts of my past, of my memories, of my complexes that I'm unaware of and I haven't engaged with, I will project it onto the individual. So, in other words, if I am being sneaky, I will feel if somebody is maybe a little more reserved, a little more quiet, I will perceive them as sneaky. And my intuition, my alarm will go off saying, oh, this person's sneaky, this person's up to something. Or perhaps if I grew up in an environment where extroverts were always bullying me, the loud ones were always against me. So anytime I'm in the presence of someone who is just more loud and bold, immediately I will come off and say, well, this person doesn't feel right. And that's when the wiring starts to get misfired, if you think of it that way. And so if you want to clean up your intuition, you want it to make it have it work in an effective way, but yet also simultaneously you need to understand its language. You must first understand your inner workings. You have to understand what are the things you are suppressing, you are denying, what are traits within you that you're assuming other people have. So if someone's being mischievous, lying, sneaky, tricking, whatever it is, it's important to investigate within yourself. Is there anything unintegrated? Is there any memory you haven't paid attention to that has gone repressed and now just lives within your body and acts out its desires through you? Because once you can start to see it, then a distinction between clean intuition and warped intuition becomes a lot more obvious. And I knew this for myself just because when I had a deeper self-worth issue, a complex that had me wanting to prove myself all the time through self-sacrifice, put tons of hours into something, show how worthy I am, show how good I am, and be superior. Because of that dark desire to want to be superior, anytime I was in the presence of someone who was confident, sure of himself, or moved in a certain way that showed that he was comfortable in his own skin, my intuition would say that person's arrogant, that person's narcissistic. And for the longest time, that controlled me. For the longest time, I have labeled certain people in my head as bad without actually seeing how much of it I was projecting onto them. And the more I cleaned it up, the more my intuition became sharper and cleaner. And it's almost a superpower once you understand it. Now, again, disclaimer, I'm not saying just completely go off willy-nilly with your intuition and never factor in the rational brain. I'm not saying that. But by no means should you completely deny it, completely reject it. Because once you understand how to integrate it, once you can clean up your past as much as possible and be aware of your complexes and look at the parts of you that you've denied and rejected and disowned, then over time, your intuition will become the greatest asset for you. As the unconscious, like I said, has more information than we can even understand. It's a vast ocean. And when it starts to work effectively, who knows your potential? If you're wanting to do more inner work and deeper shadow work, wanting to understand the stories and the memories that have been controlling your lives, leading you to feel stressed and anxious and worried about tomorrow and the fear of failure and self-sabotage, and you want to find a way to uncover that story, rewrite it, and to author your own destiny, click the first button below. It's my free PDF, and I call my Identity Initiation Guide. It's a process that I did for myself to do some inner work, gives you the basics, the groundwork before you get into anything like that. And of course, if you've already began the process of deeper self integration, understanding what's going on within your psyche and your complexes, and you find yourself maybe stuck, you're still in a repeated pattern that you're aware of but very hard to break, Or perhaps you need help even finding the story that's been controlling your life. Click the second button below, book a call with me. It would be my absolute pleasure to share space, as I've worked extensively on myself and have done the exact same thing for many other clients. It would be my absolute pleasure to share space. Thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you on the next video.